welcome to Flourishing Minds and Families. Today is a wonderful day at the studio. We are so excited, and we are going to bring to you today a wonderful guest that you've all been expecting, you've all been looking forward to, and she's here to treat a wonderful, wonderful topic that is going to bless you and enrich your family, not just your family, even as an individual as well. My name is Olabisi Yemi Ayetibo. As you all know, welcome to Flourishing M&F, brought to you by our lovely Dominion Faith Ministries. This episode is hot. You will need to make sure you share it, comment, click, share, network it, whatever you need to do. Make sure it travels far and wide, because it's meant to bless somebody, not just somebody, millions of people across the globe. So tonight, we have an amazing, amazing guest. I've already used her pronoun, isn't it? She's a she, also a registered dietitian in England, certified, knowledgeable, very strong woman of God. She's also a pastor of Faith Hammy Ministries, where they enrich many lives in many communities, many less privileges, has been blessed by this ministry. So she's not just spiritually loaded, she is mentally and psychologically loaded as a dietitian. Please welcome with me tonight at the studio, Dr. Mercy Baylor. Please, Dr. Mercy, please introduce yourself to our lovely audience across the world.
All right, that I must say that was a very wonderful introduction. I didn't know I was that loaded.
No.
Anyway, hopefully I'm able to offload, today as much as possible. So really nice to be on this show today. This is so interesting. It's really going to be awesome. All right, so I'm Mercy. She's already told you my name. My name is Mercy, and I'm a registered dietitian. I actually graduated from King's College London, and I'm also fully registered by the Health and Care Professions Council England. I'm a full member of British Dietetic Association, and I'm also a certified heavyweight coach. What I do mainly is very simple. Actually, I treat people with food. Okay, so people with chronic diseases such as diabetes, heart disease, kidney disease, and many more, I treat them using dietary advice. That's what I do mainly. And then to top that up, because I love people and I really want to educate people, I also provide nutrition and health education across different settings. For example, sometimes we collaborate with charities in the community in England here to deliver nutrition lecture or talks at different gatherings.
I've seen that.
I also work with groups such as faith groups. For example, if your church is having an event and you need somebody to come and talk about nutrition, which is a very, very great, avenue, to educate people about nutrition.
Absolutely.
So I also, feature in places like that. And then apart from those organized settings, I also do give health, nutrition and health, education across different social media platforms. We have YouTube, we have Facebook, we have Instagram, and the other one. And I am the founder of Diverse Healthcare Solutions Limited. And yes, and many more. Maybe I should just stop there, because I can't actually keep on talking about the things I do. I do quite a lot of things, but for today, I think that's just be fine.
You know what? This woman is loaded. If I say someone is loaded, you need to believe me. She is loaded. All our handles, X handles, Instagram handle, Facebook handle, YouTube handle, everything will be available at the comment section, at the description button. You can all look out for her and follow her up and engage with her. She is going to be a superwoman that you need in 2024, and I can guarantee you that. So we go straight into the business of this studio episode today, and we've got lovely questions that our audience that have prepared with you, and I'm sure you're going to do justice to that. So we're diving straight into the question of the day.
Yay.
Okay, so number one question, Dr. Dietitian Mercy Baylor. You know, someone, there is an adage. I don't know if it's an adage or if it's a say, but I came across and I said, you know, this is going to be our opening today.
Yeah.
It said, eat your food as a medicine. So you don't eat your medicine as a food. Just what does that mean? What is the concept of that adage?
Okay. You know, what that actually just means, if I can simplify it, is eat your food, okay, in such a way that it treats you. Okay, you know, when we say medicine is meant to treat us, all right?
Yes, absolutely.
They can be available in tablet forms, injections, and different things, okay? So the way you eat is going to depend on the state of your body. What we eat is who we are. What we eat and absorb is what the body uses to make us how we look, how we feel, okay, and how healthy we are from head to the toe. So when you say eat your food as medicine and not medicine as food, it means you need to eat in such a way that your body gets valuable nutrients from that food that you're eating.
Absolutely.
Then your body is protected from diseases or from pathogens or maybe invaders trying to, you know, invade your body and cause sickness or complications. Okay, so if you don't eat that way, what that just simply means is that you're opening your body up for sickness, and then you will have to be taking medications upon medications. All right, so I think it's actually going to be easier for you to eat in such a way that your body is in a state where it can kick off anything that has to do with sickness or pains or all of that.
So what you're saying in essence is eat your food, not because you're hungry,
Well,
not because you want to load your body,
no.
but because it's actually needed for you to defend yourself from the pathogens that you mentioned, from the invaders. I didn't ever hear. I thought the invaders are just enemies. You know, there are invaders
Yes,
as well.
there are things that invade the body,
see?
not just enemies.
Thank you for clarifying that. Okay, moving on quickly. So we have what we call question one for you. We said, okay, food for mind. Is there anything as such? Remember, we are talking about food and family. That's the topic for today. Food and family. So the question one that we have for Mercy Bello is food for mind. What does this mean? What does it mean? Do we have a food for our minds as a dietitian?
Okay. All right. So let's first of all define this a few terms here. Okay. So when we say the mind, it's a mental thing. All right. It's not something that's physical that we can touch. We can't touch the mind. Okay.
Absolutely.
We can't even see the mind. All right. But we know it's there. It exists.
Absolutely.
However, if it's there and it exists and is in us, there must be an organ that is charged with the responsibility to harbor the mind. Okay, so because we're human beings, we're made of cells, which is the tiniest particle of a human being is a cell. From cells, a collection of cells will give you tissue. Collection of tissues will form an organ. Okay, so this is the way the system is made. Now there is an organ of the body that's charged, that harbors the mind, that works with the mind. Sometimes they even use interchangeably. I'm sure you must have heard it. It's either the brain, they say brain, or the mind. Okay, yes. So the brain is the organ that harbors the mind. If that is true, and you know, as small as the brain is, because it's just about 2% of our total body, it's so small, but it depends on 20% of what you eat to work. So it's as small, but takes as much as what you eat.
Powerful.
If that is the case, then that organ definitely needs food to make it work.
Absolutely.
Everything about the body depends on nutrition as a bedrock. So yes, there is food for the mind, because it means that if you don't eat the right foods that will make sure that your brain is in a good state or is healthy, then the mind will not function properly. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So there is something as food for the mind. Yes, there is.
Okay, so if there is a food for the mind, then we go into what is the food. If you have, just quickly, what is actually the food? What are the examples of the food for the mind?
Okay. I would say this, yeah. It's not, I'm not going to be specific about specific foods. No.
Absolutely. She's
You know,
great, I told you.
the reason is that this is a platform where lots of people are watching us, okay? And it's not everyone who can have a deep understanding of how to use certain information, all right? So we cannot say, hey, go have biscuit, it's for the mind. Hey, go have this for the mind. But there is a way of eating, okay? That can help the brain to function in a good way, all right? There's a way of eating. And that way, I think we might probably get to it later. However, in a nutshell, it's just to eat in a way that the substances that controls the brain are working at optimum level. All right? Then the mind on its own will function properly as well.
Eating at the optimal level, making sure you hit the right thing from the invader that can defend you from the invader, that can help our mind. Wonderful, wonderful. You see, I told you she's very good. Look at the way she presented the answer. Isn't that amazing? So we move on again. Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you so much. So question 2 that we have from you, from our audience, from the 100 people that we've selected, and the questions that we brought to you today. Then for the body, as a registered dietitian, the food for the body, tell us why quality is a valid over quantity when the body wants more. Question number 2, I said, tell us why, or how do we justify when the body wants more quantity than quality?
Okay.
In terms of food. Please, what do we do?
Okay, so let's look at this question this way, okay? First of all, just like I always do, separate the terms, isn't it? Quality, okay, so let's say quantity first of all. When we talk about quantity, obviously we're referring to the amount.
The amount of food, yes.
How big, how large the plate is, and all of that. How much of portions am I adding? Okay.
Love big plates.
Yeah, big plate, right? Then when we talk about quality now, we're now talking about the makeup of this food. All right.
Yes.
So when it comes to which one is preferable, every single time we would always prefer quality over quantity. Okay? Because when it comes to quantity, you could be eating quite a lot. Like you can have a massive bowl of food, okay? And that food isn't made up of the right types of food. So when you just eat it, your tummy may feel like it's full. But can I tell you, if the right nutrients are not in that food, your body is not going to be satisfied. So there's going to be a difference between satisfaction and fullness. So with food, fullness isn't all you're going to just be going after. Because you could be consuming the wrong calories, but you are feeling full, but the body is not satisfied.
It's not satisfied.
When it is time for the body to make use of nutrition to defend you,
there is nothing there.
There's nothing there. However, you are eating lots of food, or you're eating so many times in a day, yet you are malnourished. Okay, you don't have nutrition. But when it comes to quality, we're going to be saying, all right, we have a little bowl of food right in front of us. It's not much, okay? But what is the makeup? Does it have all the required elements that we want to have in a bowl of food? For example, does it have carbohydrates in the proportion that we want it to? Does it have proteins, good quality ones? Does it have vitamins? Are there minerals there? Do we have phytochemicals? Is there fiber? I mean, what is the makeup? At the end of the day, when I've eaten this little bowl of food, is my body satisfied? Is my brain satisfied? Have I done justice to my body this time around for giving my body this little bowl of food? Now, because what's in that food is what's going to determine, number one, our weight, the way our body organs are functioning, the mind. It's what's going to determine our health in the long run, okay? And if we were managing any condition, how we eat is what's going to determine how well we can manage that, or how many medications we may need to take instead of, eating the right way. So quality is always going to be preferred to quantity. If I may give you an example, sometimes, in the hospital, we've got patients, okay, who have one condition or the other, and because of that, they are unable to eat lots of food. They don't have that appetite to eat large quantity. What do we do with such people? We say it's fine. We don't need quantity. Just give us the 2 spoons only that the patient can manage. It may just be 2 spoons of custard only. Then there's something that we call food fortification. So what we're doing then is to try to fortify those 2 spoons of custard. We will now be adding nutrients there, little nutrients there that doesn't bulk it up, but just leaves it at that quantity. However, but it's fortified. Now, those 2 spoons of custard only contains the required nutrients
for the patient.
For the patient. So when the patient can just accept those 2 spoons, we are happy.
It's good enough.
Because we know what the patient is going to be getting, isn't it?
Amazing.
So there's a nutritional supplement we got in the hospital that is so little, just like that. It's just like this. You can literally believe it. It's just like a tablespoon only.
And it works.
We give it and it works. It's got nothing to do with quantity. However, let me flip the coin around now. You can eat a large bowl of food. Yes, you can. But what is the makeup? You can make it, for example, you have a large bowl of food. How much vegetables is there to give you the required fiber, vitamins, minerals? How much of it is there? That's what we're saying now. And then the protein aspect of it, how much of it is there? Or is it just a massive bowl of rice?
God will help.
Right? You know the way that we used to eat rice in those days. I don't know. I used to eat rice like that. I would get a bowl of rice. It will be full, and then I would dump the meat on top of it because there's no space. I would literally put it on top of it. But now that I know better, obviously, I wouldn't eat that way. There's a better way to eat. Okay, so quantity is not bad, but what we are asking you is what is in it.
Wonderful. Isn't that amazing? Absolutely stunning. The formulation, you call it.
Yes.
The diet, how we eat it, the quantity.
Yes.
And the quality. There is also a way that we eat, whatever background that you've come from. I'm sure there is always a traditional way of eating that is killing our body, that is not helping our mind. My vision and my passion is that we have a thriving mind that can translate to what we do, and it's because our mind impacts everything that we do. So if we're not feeding the mind with the right food, because that is the foundation, and that is what we're starting here. If we don't inform our mind, or we don't give it the right substances, then whatever we want to do isn't going to be good. Even whatever God wants to use us for, we're not going to function at that full capacity. That is amazing. I hope you got that right. So we're going again to question number 3. Now we're going into a broader perspective.
Okay.
And you know me, very fond of family, whatever family you've got, blended social, whatever you find yourself. Sometimes friends are family.
Yes, of course.
Especially if you find yourself in an isolated community. That is where you pick up your family. So what is the link between food and family?
Just like you said, it's a very broad topic. This is broad, honestly.
And family. Food and family.
I can say to you, this on its own can even make a full, it's a full topic to talk about.
Absolutely.
Because it's really, really broad.
Please help us to do justice to it with the time that we've got. We need it.
Let's see about that. So when it comes to food and family, it's so important. Food is so important in the family. Okay, there are several ways that food brings the family together. Okay, there are several ways. If I may just start, not in any particular order. Food is one of the ways that we can share experiences, eating together. Sometimes in the house, for example, when we are cooking together, I may find myself telling my children, this is what my mother taught me to do with this kind of meal. All right, this is how to make it.
You're passing on the generational thread.
Exactly.
Something information from your parent is already going to the grandchildren.
Exactly.
Straight away.
So I'm sharing experiences, okay, that I've had with food. And then sometimes they can say to me, right, Mom, I found someone in my uni who makes certain food like this. Okay, so people can share experiences, okay, in the time of cooking together. And then when it has to do with eating together on the dining, like a family coming together, food can be an avenue for us to, it can help to spark up a conversation. Sometimes when you even have disagreements, okay, and you're not talking, I'm not talking, right? And then we come to the dining.
Very easy to pick it up on
we
the dining.
will have to talk, you know what I mean? Like, we don't have a choice, but we will talk.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, we need to talk, okay? So, and that reminds me of something really very funny. In those days when my dad would offend my mom, and then both of them, they have disagreements, and my mom passes food, and my dad says, no, I'm not eating. And my mom would be like, you're not eating. Before you know it, they now start talking, and my dad would be like, is it because I just offended you a little bit? And they said too. Food is so important when it comes to family time.
Absolutely.
Food, again, is another way that we can bring different cultures together. In the family, you may be from a different country from where your spouse is from, okay? With food, your cultures can be mended. Because now there's a way that food is cooked in your culture, and there's a way that it's cooked in this culture. So when you come back together to become one, you're likely going to be sharing recipes with each other, isn't it?
Absolutely. We're bringing in our own culture, our own uniqueness by bringing and shifting the ground.
Yes.
In terms of food.
And
we find our own identity.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Do you understand what I mean?
So spiritual. Amazing.
Yeah. So food is so key, and because family is the like beginning of a society. Okay. It also works like that. That's why you find that in churches, in schools, when they organize things like cultural events, the highlights of the occasion for me is always the food. I love to taste food from different places, right? Because I want to know, how do they feel when they eat this? What is the story?
I love it.
Yes.
The Ghanaian
exactly.
The Italian pizza that they bring.
I want to taste it.
Yes. Where's you from? Where are you from? And I'm like,
it's so good. So and then you begin to learn about the food. Oh, is this what you make? Is this how so it transcends from the family out as well to society. So food is so important. It's a way, even when it has to do with going out together to have dinner out, or just for outing to have a celebration. Food is the thing. All right. So it's something that can, no matter how busy, for example, no matter how busy our men are, there are times when we say, can we have an outing? We all go out together to have a dinner out. So at that time, opportunity on the table, everyone is seated there, and we're happy, and the children are talking to daddy, mommy is talking, and everyone is sharing ideas. Oh, I love it. Can I taste that? So it brings family together in several ways that I cannot even enumerate, honestly. So food is so important. And I remember when my parents were still alive, when I'm traveling back home from either from school or from anywhere, there's something always on my mind. The food. Because there are certain ways that parents will cook their food. It's not different from the way we make it outside. Yes. And I will normally call my parents and I say, I need so soup. Please make me black soup before I come. You snail. I long for it. So when I eventually lost my parents, oh my God, it became a bit hard to go back home. Like, because I think going back home to see who, the food will not be there. And then when you get home, for example, you have to be the one to go to the market yourself, to go cook it. There's that family union is actually missing. Okay, so food, I think, is a very, very strong thing when it comes to family.
Absolutely. Like our dietitian pastor have said, the uniqueness to blending and bringing us together and building the bonding that we require as a family.
Yes.
Start with food.
Yes.
If you've not tried it before, let's start. Start now. Regardless, of whether you know how to cook big or how to cook small, whatever your capacity is, start now. And I can honestly, going down memory lanes now, it's actually true. There's something unique about food and family.
Yes.
It brings us together. It helps us to open up.
Yes.
It helps us to solve our differences. It helps us to know who is struggling. what you're struggling with,
exactly,
and what we're looking forward to the next day. Actually, it opens up many conversations that you would never talk about.
Exactly.
Amazing, Doctor.
And there's something I want to quickly drop there, just before we move on to the next thing.
We are all here.
So, when it comes to food, we're talking about minds now. Minds and family. Minds, okay? We both know that the state of mind actually can be the reason for almost everything we do. If my state of mind is not happy, I'm not going to be flowing with you properly. Okay, so food is something that can help us to have a good state of mind. The type of food we eat and how we eat is one of the things that can help us to achieve a very good mood and state of mind. So when we can eat properly, then we can have a good state of mind, then we can be happy in the family too. Okay, so even apart from just physical eating together and cooking together and going out, on the mental level, food is required as well.
So it's spiritual.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Isn't that amazing? Food is important for the state of our mind, how happy we are, how functioning we can be, how we function at work, how we function together as a family.
Yes.
From our food, we can tell. If I'm visiting you and I'm looking at the food that you're giving me, I'm already, she's already giving me the tips. I'm already seeing, what's going on with my friend? What's going on? So it's not just about dumping all the carbohydrates and saying, that's the quantity. It's about the expression from the plate.
Yes.
From our heart to the plate. From our heart to the plate.
Yes.
Amazing. So we have also question number 4.
Okay.
Stay tuned. Comment. Make sure you share. Make sure you network this show across everywhere that you can think of. It's going to bless you. And make sure you don't take it alone. Share with wider family, with your friends, with your colleagues at work, while we go on to question number 4.
Okay.
A recommended diet for individuals and families who are struggling with low mood and depression. Is this something that we can use to empower them or to inform them?
Okay, definitely there's something. Amazing. Definitely there's something. So when it comes to mood and depression, obviously the mind is connected with that. Yes. So I will not be recommending a specific diet, for just like that. Or what I mean is I will not be naming foods. I will not be naming food in particular. But there's something we can do with this question.
Thank you.
So when it comes to that, depression, we know that the mind is in control of that. And we've talked about the organ of the mind, which is the brain. Remember we talked about that? Alright, so there is something about spiking blood glucose levels. Let me just say, when we eat foods, especially foods containing carbohydrates, we get sugar from them. It breaks down and then we get sugars from them. Now the type of food, the different types of food have different ways that they spike blood sugar. Some spike blood sugar very quickly and high. Alright? And then such foods, when you are that high, it can quickly crash as well. Alright, and then you feel hungry immediately after, and you quickly want something again, and you eat, reach for sugar, and it spikes and all of that. Or if there is something happening in your body, let's say you're already developing something that we call insulin resistance, which has to do with diabetes. It means that even if it's not a food that can spike quickly, can still spike you and keep you there for high for a long time. When you begin to eat in this manner, you're not going to be doing justice to your brain. You're not going to be helping your brain to function properly. All right? So here is what I would say. Before I go into that, there is something that is called type 3 diabetes. I know that everybody or most people just know about type 1 diabetes
and 2.
Type 2 diabetes. But there is type 3 diabetes. There is something that is referred to as type 3 diabetes. And that is Alzheimer's, which has to do with brain. What that means, what does that mean to you? It means that it's connected with sugars. Isn't it? So if the way you eat encourages your blood sugar levels to go high and then crashes and then high and then crashes, you're not going to be doing good to your brain.
So
All right,
mental
so
well-being will suffer.
will suffer.
With that spike and coming down.
Yes,
Spike.
and coming down.
The irregularity.
Irregularity. Up and down, which I will call the yo-yo style of eating. Okay, that is not going to be helpful for the brain, which harbors the mind.
Doesn't even
Now,
sound
and it can also, I mean, such thing can also refer, can probably be connected to depression when the mind is not settled. You can be having anxiety and different other issues. Now let's even bring it down to the kind of diet that I will be able to say to everyone, this is what you need to do, and it's the same kind of diet that the government has asked the public to do. And this has to do with what they call eating your food in a way that fits in with the Eat Well guide as prescribed by the government of UK. Wow. All right, the Eat Well guide is simply a way that the different 5 food groups that we have is supposed to be represented in your plate.
Right.
Let's say you have a plate, for example. There is a proportion of your plate. There's a portion of your plate that should be filled with vegetables, because we've got nutrients, vitamins such as vitamins, minerals, some good quality fiber, okay, in vegetables and fruits. So a big portion of the plate has something to do with vegetables. Then you have a portion of it that's got to be filled with starches, because starches are good sources of energy as well.
Because we need it.
We need it. Okay, we just need to know the type to choose. All right. Then we probably will come to that a little bit later. Then we have a part of it that has good quality proteins like meat, fish, eggs.
We need that as well.
And some legumes like beans and all of that. And then we have a part of it that is dairy, like milk, cheeses, and stuff like that. Okay, and then the remaining part of it, which is so minute and tiny part of the plate, is where you may fit in other stuff like maybe desserts or high fat. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I know that somehow
or brownies,
exactly,
and
or custard and chocolate or
desserts.
sweets.
I love desserts.
Yeah, desserts are, I know, very sweet, and they can be addictive as well. So you want to follow the Eat Well guide.
I think
I will appreciate if you will probably maybe show a picture of the Eat Well guide.
Absolutely.
So
we're going to make sure from in the description below.
Yes.
Make sure you will see the UK Eat Well guide that Dietitian has been describing all along. It's going to do you a lot of good if you follow it through. Look at it from your own ethnic background, ethnicity, your community, what sort of food that you have, and look at this guide, and it's going to really help you to plan your meal and help your family as well to plan your meal. And I think I've seen it, when during antenatal classes, when I go for pregnancy with the baby, I think there is a Eat Well guide even for the babies then. But that's where I left it. I never go back to it. So now I'm going back to the Eat Well guide as well.
You should actually go back to it. And it can
amazing.
it's adaptable. Just like you say, it doesn't matter your culture, it doesn't matter your tradition or where you are or which country of the world you live in. If you use the Eat Well guide as a guide to eat, all right, what that is going to help you with is that you're going to achieve stable blood sugar levels.
We need that.
Your blood sugar levels is going to be stable because it means you're going to be having fiber, protein, and other stuff in your food, not just one particular aspect. Okay, so when you can achieve a stable blood sugar levels, then you're going to have a healthy brain, and that means that your mind will also function properly. There is a connection between the brain and the digestive system. So with depression, nutrition has a big role to play in it.
Amazing. You hear that?
Have you ever heard people say, when I feel depressed, I just eat?
Yes. Absolutely. Yes.
I'm sure you've heard of that. I eat based on my emotions. Or emotional eating. You've heard people say that when I don't feel okay, I just eat. And then when you check what those people eat, it's mainly high sugar foods like biscuits and chocolates and stuff like that, which is going to be causing even more problems. But I would like to say maybe the reason why you are experiencing depression in the first place is that your diet was not right. So I don't want to believe that it's because of depression or low mood that you are eating. I think you're eating that way because I think you're experiencing
low mood,
things like low mood or depression. Not in all cases.
Not in all cases.
Sometimes depression might be brought about by an incident that has happened in the life of someone.
Yes, yeah.
Please don't get me wrong. Don't come for me in the comment section. I'm not trying to say that it's bad eating that causes depression.
What we are saying sometimes.
Yes.
I mean, in some cases.
Yes.
Food plays a major
role
in our low mood.
Yes.
And depression.
Exactly.
So we can help.
Yes.
I mean, if we address this, maybe that we have millions of people
can actually handle low mood and depression properly. Okay.
If we eat well.
If we eat a balanced diet that gives us, the good quality vitamins and minerals that we actually need our bodies to function properly, so that we don't end up in that loop of not eating well, having low mood and depression, eating bad, going, you know what I mean? Like it comes around and around and around and it never ends.
Oh, that is amazing. I hope you've benefited from that. That is so deep. That is so profound. Check your diet. Check what you're eating. Check how you are helping your mood to function. Check how you are helping your brain to function. Check how you are helping your families to function. And that takes us to the question number 5 for today's episode.
Yeah.
It says, this is deep, Pastor Mercy.
Okay, we'll dig it out.
Yeah? Give us some questions. Dig it out. If you want to see her in the studio again, please give us a topic that you would want her to treat as a dietitian,
yes,
as a registered practitioner in the UK, that you would like her to come and address with us. And that is why this platform and this show is brought together, to make sure our minds is functioning. As an individual, we are functioning to the full capacity that we should, and also our family is functioning to the maximum, that what God, to the extent of what God has equipped and wired us for. So she's happy to come back to the studio. So just drop her what is wandering your mind, and she's happy to do justice. She's always here.
Anytime.
So question number 5.
Yes.
Pastor Mercy said, when should I be worried about my eating habit as an individual, or as a family? When should we be worried? I know you've addressed a little bit of it, but I want you to also, go deep as a dietitian, as a, let's call this a recap of all the things. When should I be worried? Because I might be slim, I might be fit, and say, okay, my meal is good for me. I don't have any problem. But when should I be worried?
Good.
And is there a thing like that? Is there a thing like that? I should be cautious of what my eating habit is. So when should I be worried about my eating habit as an individual, or what I'm feeding my family with?
Oh, okay. Yes. Okay. There is something as such. Okay. So when it comes to eating habits, can I define it in a way?
Yes.
Just to let you know that when it comes to eating habits, I know that the first thing that pops into our head when we say someone has a bad eating habit is probably we think the person is eating too much.
Yes.
Okay, we can easily say you have a very bad habit, you're eating too much. But for your information, a bad habit is not just about someone eating too much, it's also about someone not eating enough.
Aha, I told you she's good.
So there are habits, okay? There are habits that we form, that interfere with the way we eat and feed our bodies. So let me take it one after the other, okay?
Yes, okay.
Let me start from eating too small. All right? There are people who are, I mean, they're very obsessed with looks, their weight, their stomach size, okay, and the way, I mean, how they want to look. So they fill their heads with this belief that food is the problem, okay? So they make sure they don't eat enough on purpose. All right, so they would eat very little, they will not eat enough, and then before you know it, they start to appear very skinny and all of that, and then the body will also suffer. Okay, there are reasons why some people have these issues.
Yes.
If you begin to find that you are skipping breakfast or meals, you are skipping it, you just purposely do not want to eat, you should be worried.
There's a concern for that.
If you begin to find that you're standing in front of the mirror every time looking at how big am I, how am I small, you should be worried, because very soon that behavior is going to stop you from wanting to eat. When you find out that you are avoiding social gatherings where food is going to form a part of it, just because you don't want to eat, you should. That's a red flag.
Oh.
Okay. When you begin to find that you eat, okay, you eat and you regret eating.
That's a big red flag.
That's a big red flag. All these are eating disorders in a way, because if it's not managed,
it can
become a massive issue. It can actually lead to complications later. However, it may not have been diagnosed as an eating disorder, just because maybe when you get to the clinic, it did not meet the full guideline that will enable them to diagnose you with eating disorder. Does not mean you are not suffering.
Absolutely.
You are still suffering.
You're still suffering. It's just like gone to the it's not blown up yet. It hasn't got to the full capacity where it's a problem.
Yes.
But it's a gradual thing.
Yes. And then when you find out that you are counting calories too much, you're putting food in your plate and you're thinking, how many calories can that be? I should not eat up to 800 calories. You're very restrictive. When you find out that you are practicing a kind of diet that has not been prescribed for you by a registered dietitian or by a healthcare professional, you should be aware. It's a red flag.
Okay.
Because it obviously has not been well thought out, and issues such as ability to sustain that diet in the long run, and ability to look at limitations of that diet and the stress is probably putting you through, and all of this. So on this side of under eating, these are the things you will want to look out for, plus more. I'm not sure if I've covered it all, but quite all of this.
If you want if you want to speak more about it, if you want to know more about it, follow Mercy Bello, the Divers Health page. She's got that page. You can contact her. She will speak more to you. She's got consultation. You can book into her calendar. She will speak more to you. If you are having concern or you are worried about under-eating side and she has not been able to cover it all, please reach out to her. She will help you. I'm sure she will signpost you as well to relevant services that will enable and empower you. So moving on to the other side. Yeah. Pastor Mercy.
Other side of the coin.
The coins now. So what is the other side?
Okay.
We have under-eating.
Yes.
Overeating now.
Okay. They are both malnutrition. When we use the term malnutrition, people think of undereating.
So
overeating is also malnutrition. Because it means you're doing nutrition wrongly. That's the meaning. All right. So when it comes to overeating, when should you be worried?
Yes.
Because you may be overeating and not even realize it. Because you feel like, I'm hungry and that's what I want. I want that. If you notice that you keep on going again and again for extra portions. Does that make sense?
Too much.
Good.
Too much.
When food is already being served and you have eaten and you say, can I have the extra wrap of pounded yam, please? Can I have the extra rice, please? Can I have, when you begin to ask for extras,
we forgive all of us.
it's a red flag.
Okay.
That is a red flag. You are probably stepping beyond the boundary. Also, if you find out that every single time you indulge with food, you can't stop until your tummy is tight and you're having pains, it's a red flag. It means that you're not having control over your food, over your eating, and that may have to do with certain hormones. Okay, that it's not probably even sending you enough messages to say I'm full. Or even if it's sending, you just decide to ignore anyway. However, if you find out that every single time you eat, you can't stop, you just want to eat more until it gets to a point where your tummy practically says to you, stop, and you start having pains, it's a red flag. You are developing a habit with food that you can't handle. Okay? When the time comes. If you find out that you keep hiding
your food.
No, you keep hiding to eat.
Really?
Everyone has already had all their dinners, everyone's fine, and when they've all gone away, you sneak into the kitchen because you don't want either your wife or your husband or your mom or dad to see that you're eating something again, because you know in your mind you are not actually hungry,
or you're craving for
you're
more.
just having cravings, it's a red flag. Because those extra calories or those extra intake, what is it going to be used for? What happens with that is that the body literally takes those extra calories or extra food you have eaten, it doesn't need it, so it will just convert them into fat and store them in your fat cells, and you can start to put on unnecessary weight from that. Does that make sense? So when it comes to overeating, and then there's another group of people who after they have overeaten, they know it's wrong for their body.
Yeah.
Then they force themselves to pour it
Yeah,
out.
makes you sick.
That's what we call bulimia. People who have bulimia tendencies. It's a red flag. Okay, so you want to.
But sorry, just to pause you, that people just feel, oh, I have, but I just feel uncomfortable after I've eaten that food, and I just felt, the only way that I can sustain myself is to just make myself sick and throw it up. I know, I worked a lot of patients in that, but because I'm not a dietitian, I just, I work within my own guideline, my professional capacity as a mentor and social worker. I know that, okay, these are red flags.
Yes.
But then digging deep into it now, I kind of make sense of what's going on. It's the guilt, and then mostly they want to retain the look or something, or they've eaten, satisfy the family, or we've eaten together, but then they go ahead or behind the door, and then they go and throw up. And I just wonder, but there are different means why people just go and throw up. Like you said, when they're having pains in the tummy, they've overeaten, or some people just want to throw up because they satisfy the family that have eaten, and they go back. And how can we address
this kind of thing?
The kind of
concern. So it depends on why they're doing it. Like you said, there are different reasons. If you're doing it because you feel sick, you're not well, you're probably having reflux. Some people just have some disorder when they eat and they start to have reflux. By the way, if you suffer from reflux, there is a cure for it.
Contact her. I can honestly 100%.
If you suffer from reflux, there is a treatment for reflux. Okay, it's something that can be handled. It's not a death sentence, because reflux is one of the things that actually leads to depression for some people, where they can't literally eat and they can't sleep. There is an answer.
Praise God.
All right. So when you have such issues and is the reason why you're doing it, then we're saying to you, come for an answer. If that
consultation,
if that is not the reason why you are throwing up after food, and if it has to do with how you look and how you want to look, that's psychological. Do you know what I mean? So we will not just treat this one with food, this kind of thing. We will need the help of other health professionals to address this issue.
Therapy. So this is a whole broad.
So it can be handled in we call it the wider MDT, the multidisciplinary team, which has to do with different therapists. We can all come together and then do something to help people like this
for these individuals, and then help them to move forward with their diagnosis and what you can do to support and enable them to live better.
Definitely.
Absolutely. This has been great and amazing. Like we've said, if you need more consultation, you need extra advice, you need more guidelines, book consultations with Mercy Baylor. Our website is down in the description. Our handles are down in the description. Make sure you reach out to her. We should not suffer in silence. We have been empowered. We have different platform professionals that will be helping us to live a fulfilling life as children of the living God. So please make sure you use all those information. And I'm so glad, I'm so blessed, and I've been so informed myself that I know what to do and how to help my patients more. Not just my patient, even people across me, and as a wife myself, what I'm going to be doing. Food and come to the table.
When he feels angry, make him a cup of tea.
Absolutely. Let's drink it.
Let's have it.
It's so informative, it's so empowering, and I'm glad that you've come to the studio to share your knowledge, not just your knowledge, your energy, your passion with us today. Thank you so much. Pastor Mercy Baylor. We are grateful to have you in the studio, and I hope that we will be bringing you back very soon, because you've incited a lot of questions in our
Yes,
mind and say,
yes.
okay, what am I doing wrong? What can I do? And so please, if you want to book a consultation, like I said, please go ahead to our website and book it, and she will be so honored
Yes.
to guide you, to support you, and to empower
Definitely.
you. Thank you very much.
And just to
So,
say
yes.
that very soon we've got our health webinars coming out.
Oh,
Weight management and diabetes self-management webinars. We're going to be teaching lots of topics there, and people, if you know you have issues with weight and diabetes and you want to know how you can manage it yourself, we're going to be having webinars coming up very soon.
That's amazing. There are webinars coming up. She will be handling with her team. So please feel free to reach out, and she will be so glad to support you. Whatever questions you've got that we've not even addressed today, I know there are other things. So please reach out to her, and she will be so glad to help you.
Definitely. And secondly,
Yeah.
you remember that our podcast is starting soon. We're going to be having nutrition and health podcast. We're going to be addressing questions that people are throwing at us. We just felt it's going to be the best place to just handle questions and answers so that people can. So you can follow.
Please reach out to her again. Make sure you
YouTube
stay
channel.
glued to the website and our YouTube, and you will see a lot of more things coming up. A lot of practitioners coming to our page that will be helping us in terms of diet, food, families, and staying strong and healthy, including the things for our children. So please, thank you again.
So
everyone
much.
in the studio, we say thank you for coming in today. And we know we'll be bringing you back by the mercies of God, and you will be sharing more of your knowledge and things that has been helping you, equipping you as a practitioner. So we are glad to have you. Thank you.
I am very happy to be here.
Flourishing minds and families. Awesome time in the studio.
Yes.
Give it to Dr. Mercy Bello.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
See you in the next episode. Bye-bye.
Yeah, bye.
Bye.